Cristiano Ronaldo was born on February 5th, 1985, on the small Portuguese island of Madeira. Madeira is a beautiful island in the Atlantic Ocean. It has mountains, flowers, and the sea all around. But for Cristiano, life was not always beautiful. His family was poor, and money was always a problem. Cristiano's father, José Denis Aveiro, worked as a gardener and also helped at a local football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked as a cook and cleaner. They worked very hard, but they didn't earn much. Cristiano was the youngest child in the family. He had one brother, Hugo, and two older sisters, Elma and Katia. Even as a little boy, Cristiano was full of energy. He was always moving, running, and laughing. He didn't care about toys very much. For him, the best toy was always a ball. He could kick it, throw it, or play with it all day. His family saw that he was different. He didn't just like football, he loved it with all his heart. A small house, a big dream. The Ronaldo family lived in a small house. Sometimes Cristiano shared a room with his brother and sisters. Life was not easy, but Cristiano didn't complain. He had something bigger inside him, a dream. Every day after school, he would run outside and play football in the street. The streets of Madeira were not smooth. They were small, sometimes steep, sometimes dangerous. But for Cristiano, they were perfect training grounds. He played barefoot. He played with old balls, and sometimes even with bottles or oranges when there was no ball. His mother remembers. Cristiano always wanted to play. He would cry if he didn't have time for football. The boy who hated to lose. From a very young age, Cristiano showed a strong personality. He hated losing. If his team lost, he would get angry. Sometimes, as a small boy, he would even cry when he lost a game. His friends laughed at him, but Cristiano didn't care. For him, losing was the worst feeling. He wanted to win always, no matter what. This passion made him different from other kids. Many boys played football for fun. Cristiano also enjoyed the game, but for him, it was more than fun. It was serious. He played with fire in his eyes. His father and the football club. Cristiano's father worked at a local football club called Andorinha. He cleaned the dressing rooms and took care of the equipment. Because of this, Cristiano spent a lot of time around the club. He watched the older boys play. He listened to the coaches, and he learned. At just 7 years old, Cristiano joined Andorinha as a player. He was very small and thin, but he was fast. His speed surprised everyone. The ball seemed to stick to his feet, and he could run past boys older than him. The coaches noticed him immediately. They said, "This boy is special." The first sacrifices. Cristiano's family didn't have much money. Buying football shoes was difficult. Sometimes he played in old, broken shoes. But he didn't care. He played with all his heart. His mother remembers how sometimes Cristiano missed dinner because he was still outside playing football. Food was important. But for Cristiano, football was even more important. He had only one dream, to become a professional football player. The nickname Little B. When Cristiano was young, people gave him a nickname. They called him Little B. Why? Because he was always running, fast like he'd be flying from flower to flower. He never stopped moving, never stopped working. This energy would later become one of his biggest strengths. School problems. Not everything in Cristiano's life was football. He also went to school, but school was not easy for him. He didn't like to study, and sometimes he had problems with teachers. He was a shy boy, but also very emotional. At 14 years old, something happened that changed his life. Cristiano had an argument with a teacher. The teacher made fun of his family's poor background. Cristiano became so angry that he threw a chair at him. After that, he left school forever. For many kids, leaving school at 14 will be the end of their future. But for Cristiano, it was the beginning. He decided that football was his school, his job, and his life. Leaving Madeira, Cristiano was too good for a small club like Madeira. Soon, he moved to a bigger local team, Nacional. There, he continued to grow and show his talent. But the real turning point came when Sporting Lisbon, one of the biggest clubs in Portugal, invited him to join their academy. This was both exciting and scary. Cristiano was only 12 years old. He had never left Madeira before. To join Sporting, he had to move alone to Lisbon, far away from his family. At first, he cried every night. He missed his mother, his father, and his siblings. He felt lonely and small in the big city. But then he remembered his dream, to be the best football player in the world. And so he stayed. Motivation from pain. Life at Sporting was not easy. Cristiano trained hard, but some boys made fun of him. They said he was too skinny, too small, and that he would never make it. But Cristiano didn't let their words stop him. Instead, he used them as motivation. He worked harder, trained longer, and ran faster. Every time someone told him, "You can't," Cristiano answered with his actions. "I can." A boy with a dream. By the age of 14, Cristiano knew what he wanted. He didn't just want to play football. He wanted to be the best in the world. People laughed when he said this. To them, he was just a skinny boy from a poor island. But Cristiano believed in himself, and that belief was stronger than the doubts of others. Cristiano's journey had only just begun. From the streets of Madeira to the Academy of Sporting Lisbon, he was on his way. But many challenges still waited for him. Cristiano was only 12 years old when he left his island, Madeira, and moved to Lisbon. For a boy who had never lived away from his family, this was a huge step. He missed home very much. Sometimes he cried at night because he wanted to see his mother and father again. But deep inside, he knew he had to stay strong. He remembered the promise he made to himself, "I will be the best." Life at the academy. At Sporting Lisbon, Cristiano joined the football academy. The academy was a serious place. Young players trained hard every day. They lived in dormitories, went to school, and played football almost all the time. Cristiano's life became simple but very tough. Wake up early, train, eat, study, train again, and sleep. Many boys gave up after some time, but not Cristiano. He loved the challenge. Still, it was not easy. Some of the other kids laughed at him because of his accent from Madeira. Others said he was too skinny. They said he would never make it as a professional football player. Cristiano felt hurt, but he didn't show it. Instead, he worked harder. He spent extra hours at the training ground. He practiced dribbling, shooting, and running. When others went to sleep, Cristiano stayed on the field, kicking the ball again and again. A training machine. Coaches quickly noticed something about Cristiano, his work ethic. He was not just talented. He was obsessed with improvement. While many kids wanted to relax after practice, Cristiano wanted more. He lifted weights, did push-ups, ran extra laps, and practiced free kicks late into the evening. One of his teammates later said, "When we finished training, Cristiano kept going. When we went to eat, he was still practicing." That's why he became the best. Struggles and sacrifices. But life at Sporting was not only about football. Cristiano missed his family. He was just a boy. and sometimes he felt very lonely. He also struggled with schoolwork because he didn't care about studying anymore. All his focus was on football. There were also health problems. At age 15, doctors discovered that Cristiano had a heart condition. His heartbeat was irregular. Without treatment, he might not have been able to play football again. For a moment, his dream was almost gone. Cristiano had heart surgery, a very scary moment for his family. Luckily, the surgery was successful. Just a few days later, he returned to training. Nothing could stop him. The first professional contract. At the age of 16, Cristiano was already playing with older boys in sporting youth teams. His speed, skills, and confidence made him stand out. Soon, the club offered him his first professional contract. Cristiano felt proud. For the first time, he was not just a boy with a dream. He was a professional football player. His family was proud too. They knew how much he had worked for this moment. First team debut. In 2002, at the age of 17, Cristiano made his debut for Sporting Lisbon's first team. He played in the Portuguese league against grown men. Many thought he was too young, but when he touched the ball, everyone could see his talent. He was fast, tricky, and fearless. He ran at defenders, used stepovers, and shot with power. Fans began to notice the skinny boy with the number 28 shirt. The famous friendly match. One of the most important days in Cristiano's life came in August 2003. Sporting Lisbon played a friendly match against Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in England. Cristiano started the game, and from the first minutes, he destroyed the Manchester United defenders. He ran past them again and again. His dribbling and speed were unbelievable. By the end of the match, United's players were exhausted. After the game, the Manchester United players told their coach, Sir Alex Ferguson, "You have to sign this boy. He is amazing." Sir Alex agreed. Within weeks, Manchester United bought Cristiano Ronaldo for £12.24 million. At only 18 years old, Cristiano was moving to England to play in the Premier League, a new beginning. Cristiano was excited but also nervous. Moving to England was another big step. He didn't speak English well. He didn't know the culture, and he was leaving his family again. But Cristiano was used to challenges. He told himself, "This is my chance. I must take it." His dream of becoming one of the best players in the world was getting closer. The boy from Madeira was about to play in one of the greatest football clubs in history. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived in England in 2003, he was just 18 years old. He was skinny young and didn't speak much English. But he had something stronger than all of that, his confidence and his dream. The first impression. On the day Cristiano joined Manchester United, he walked into the locker room filled with stars. Players like Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, and Roy Keane were already legends. Cristiano felt nervous, but he also knew he belonged. Sir Alex Ferguson, the famous United coach, believed in him. He gave Cristiano the number 7 shirt. This number was not just any number. It had been worn by legends like George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. For Cristiano, it was both an honor and a big responsibility. Some people said, "He's too young for number 7. But Cristiano wanted to prove them wrong. A shiny debut. Cristiano's debut came against Bolton Wanderers in August 2003. When he came onto the field, Old Trafford, the stadium of Manchester United, came alive. He was fast, full of tricks, and fearless. He made defenders dizzy with his stepovers. The fans stood up and clapped. After the game, newspapers wrote about the new star who had arrived in English football, adapting to England. But life in England was not easy. The Premier League was tough, physical, and fast. Cristiano was often criticized for doing too many tricks. Opponents kicked him hard, and referees didn't always protect him. He also missed home. The food, the weather, and the language were all strange. Sometimes he felt lonely, but Cristiano had a strong mentality. Instead of giving up, he worked harder. He went to English classes. He trained extra hours, and he lifted weights to become stronger. The young star who never gave up. Cristiano's early years at Manchester United were full of challenges, but also full of progress. He scored beautiful goals, made amazing assists, and slowly became more mature. Sir Alex Ferguson was like a father figure to him. He guided Cristiano, sometimes shouted at him, but always believed in him. Ferguson once said, "Cristiano was the most talented player I ever coached. His work ethic was incredible." First trophy. In 2004, Cristiano won his first major trophy with Manchester United, the FA Cup. In the final against Millwall, he scored a goal. He was just 19, but already showing his magic on the big stage, holding the trophy in his hands. Cristiano felt that his sacrifices were worth it, but he didn't stop there. He wanted more. Tragedy and strength. In 2005, Cristiano faced one of the hardest moments of his life. His father, Jose Denis Aveiro, died because of problems with alcohol. Cristiano was only 20 years old. He cried a lot, but he also made a decision. He told himself, "I will honor my father by becoming the best in the world." This tragedy gave him even more motivation. He trained harder than ever, using his pain as fuel, growing into a superstar. By 2006 and 2007, Cristiano had become one of the most exciting players in the world. His speed, power, and skills made him unstoppable. He scored goals, created assists, and became stronger every season. In the 2006 World Cup, he played for Portugal and showed his talent on the world stage. Some English fans booed him after a famous incident with his teammate Wayne Rooney, but Cristiano didn't let the hate stop him. He came back to England and worked even harder. Champion of England. In the 2006 to 2007 season, Cristiano helped Manchester United win the Premier League title. He scored 17 league goals and became one of the best players in the team. But that was only the beginning. In the 2007-2008 season, Cristiano had one of the greatest years in football history. He scored 42 goals in all competitions. He was unstoppable. Free kicks, headers, long shots, dribbles. He could do everything. Manchester United won both the Premier League and the Champions League. In the Champions League final against Chelsea, Cristiano scored a beautiful header. United won on penalties, and Cristiano celebrated with tears of joy. The first Ballon d'Or. Because of his amazing season, Cristiano won his first Ballon d'Or in 2008. This award is given to the best player in the world. For the boy from Madeira, it was a dream come true. When he held the golden ball, he remembered all the sacrifices. The small house, the tears in Lisbon, the loneliness in England, and the death of his father. Everything was worth it. A new dream, Real Madrid. After winning everything with Manchester United, Cristiano began to think about a new challenge. His dream since childhood was to play for Real Madrid, the biggest club in Spain. In 2009, after 6 amazing years in England, Cristiano said goodbye to Manchester United. He left as a legend with 3 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, and the Ballon d'Or. Real Madrid paid a record fee of £80 million for him. At that time, It was the most expensive transfer in football history. Cristiano was ready for the next chapter of his incredible journey. In the summer of 2009, Cristiano Ronaldo stood in front of thousands of fans at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium in Madrid. More than 80,000 people came just to see him wear the famous white shirt of Real Madrid for the first time. No player had ever received such a welcome. Cristiano was no longer the skinny boy from Madeira. He was a superstar. He had won trophies in England, and he was the most expensive player in history. But now the real challenge began. The pressure of Madrid. Real Madrid is not just a football club. It is a symbol. The fans demand victory every season. They want goals, titles, and magic. Every mistake is criticized. Every bad game is noticed. Cristiano knew this. He said, "I know the pressure here, but I will show who I am." From the first game, he proved himself. He scored goal after goal, breaking records that had stood for years. A goal machine. Cristiano's time at Real Madrid was defined by goals. He scored in almost every match. He could score with his left foot, right foot, or head. He scored from free kicks, penalties, and powerful shots from outside the box. In his very first season, he scored 33 goals. That was just the beginning. Every year, his numbers grew higher. 40 goals, 50 goals, sometimes even more. By the time he left Madrid, Cristiano had scored 451 goals in 438 games. That is more than one goal per game, a record that may never be broken. The rivalry with Messi. During his years in Spain, Cristiano had a great rival, Lionel Messi of Barcelona. The two were so different. Cristiano, powerful and fast. Messi, small and magical. But both were incredible. Every week, fans compared them. Who scored more? Who won more trophies? Who was the best? Cristiano never let the rivalry break him. Instead, it pushed him. When Messi scored a hat trick, Cristiano wanted to score 4. When Messi won a trophy, Cristiano worked harder to win the next one. This rivalry created one of the greatest eras in football history. La Decima, the 10th Champions League. Real Madrid is famous for winning the Champions League. But before Cristiano arrived, the club had been waiting 12 years for another title. In 2014, everything changed. Real Madrid reached the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid. It was a dramatic game. Atletico led 1-0 until the very last minutes. Then, Sergio Ramos scored a header to make it 1-1. In extra time, Real Madrid destroyed Atletico. Cristiano scored the final goal, taking off his shirt and shouting with passion. Real Madrid won 4-1. It was their 10th European Cup called La Decima. Cristiano cried with joy. He had delivered on his promise. More glory. But Cristiano was not finished. Over the next few years, he helped Real Madrid win even more. In 2016, Madrid won the Champions League again, beating Atletico once more. In 2017, Cristiano was unstoppable, scoring twice in the final against Juventus. Madrid became the first club to win back-to-back Champions League titles. In 2018, Madrid won again, making it 3 in a row in 4 and 5 years. Cristiano scored in every big moment. He was always there when his team needed him most. The records, while at Real Madrid, Cristiano broke record after record. Fastest player to score 100 goals for club. Most goals in a single Champions League season, 17. All-time top scorer of Real Madrid, 451 goals. The first player to score in 3 different Champions League finals. Fans called him Mr. Champions League. He was a machine, a leader, and a hero. Personal achievements. During his Madrid years, Cristiano won 4 more Ballon d'Or trophies: 2008, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017. That gave him 5 in total, equal with Messi at the time. He also won multiple Golden Boots for being the top scorer in Europe. Each award was proof of his hard work. The sacrifices. Behind the glory, there was sacrifice. Cristiano trained harder than anyone else. He followed a strict diet, worked in the gym, and never stopped improving. While others partied, he worked. While others rested, he trained. His teammates often said, Cristiano was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. This discipline made him not just a great player, but a legend. The farewell. In 2018, after 9 years at Real Madrid, Cristiano decided to leave. He had given everything to the club and won everything possible. For Champions League titles, 2 La Liga titles, and many personal awards. He said goodbye to Madrid with tears in his eyes. Fans thank him for all the unforgettable moments. He left as a true icon, the greatest player in the history of the club. His next destination? Italy. Juventus. Cristiano was ready for another challenge, another chapter in his story. In July 2018, Cristiano Ronaldo surprised the football world once again. After 9 historic years at Real Madrid, he signed with Juventus, the biggest club in Italy. Many people asked, why leave Madrid? He already won everything. But Cristiano was never satisfied. He loved challenges. He wanted to prove that he could succeed in another country, another league, another culture. At 33 years old, many players think about retirement. But Cristiano was ready to start a new adventure, a new beginning in Italy. When Cristiano arrived in Turin, thousands of Juventus fans came to welcome him. Black and white flags filled the streets. Everyone wanted to see their new hero. Cristiano was excited. He said, I come to a club with a great history. I want to help them win more trophies. He knew Italy was different from Spain and England. Italian football was more defensive, more tactical, and harder to score in. But that didn't scare him. First season magic. Cristiano's first season in Italy was impressive. He scored 21 goals in Serie A and helped Juventus win the league title. It was Juventus's 8th league title in a row. But for Cristiano, it was his first taste of Italian glory. One of his most unforgettable moments came in the Champions League. Juventus played against Atletico Madrid in the round of 16. In the first match, Atletico won 2-0. Many people thought Juventus was finished. But in the second leg, Cristiano showed his magic. He scored a hat-trick, 3 goals by himself. Juventus won 3-0 and advanced. The stadium exploded with joy. It was one of Cristiano's greatest performances. He looked at the camera after his 3rd goal and shouted, I'm here, adapting and leading. In Italy, Cristiano became not just a scorer, but also a leader. He motivated his teammates, pushed them to train harder, and demanded excellence. Many young Juventus players said they learned discipline by watching him. His diet, his gym work, his focus, everything was at the highest level. Cristiano didn't just want to win. He wanted everyone around him to win too. More trophies. During his 3 seasons with Juventus, Cristiano helped the club win 2 Serie A titles, 2019-2020, 1 Coppa Italia, 2021, 2 Italian Super Cups. He also scored more than 100 goals for the club in just 3 years. That's a record very few players have ever achieved. Special moments. There were many highlights during his Juventus years. His bicycle kick goal against Juventus when he was still at Real Madrid inspired fans. When he later joined Juve, they remember that goal as a sign of greatness. His unstoppable penalty goals and powerful headers. His leadership during tough matches, always asking for the ball, always pushing until the last minute. Cristiano showed that age was just a number. At 34, 35, and 36 years old, he was still one of the best players in the world. Personal awards. In 2020, Cristiano became the fastest player to reach 50 goals in Serie A. He was also named the league's MVP, most valuable player. He proved to everyone that he could dominate in England, Spain, and now Italy. Few players in history had ever achieved that. Challenges and criticism. Of course, not everything was perfect. Juventus wanted to win the Champions League, and with Cristiano, they hoped it would happen. But the team was eliminated 3 times in the early knockout stages. Critics said Cristiano failed in Italy, but the numbers told a different story. He was Juventus' top scorer every season. He gave everything on the field. One man cannot win the Champions League alone. It requires the whole team. Cristiano answered the critics with his actions, goals, hard work, and trophies. The farewell from Juventus. In the summer of 2021, Cristiano felt it was time for another change. He loved Juventus, but he wanted a new challenge. After 3 successful years, he said goodbye to Italy. He thanked the fans and the club for their support. Juventus fans respected him deeply. They knew he gave his best and inspired many. A return to Manchester. To the surprise of the football world, Cristiano returned to Manchester United in August 2021. 12 years after leaving, he was back where his journey as a global superstar had truly begun. Fans welcomed him like a king. Old Trafford sang his name once again. Cristiano was ready for another chapter. In the summer of 2021, football fans around the world couldn't believe their eyes. Cristiano Ronaldo was coming back to Manchester United. 12 years had passed since he left for Real Madrid, and now he was returning as one of the greatest players in history. For United fans, it felt like a dream. They remembered the young Cristiano, the tricks, the goals, the trophies. Now the legend was back. The announcement. At first, there were rumors that Cristiano might join Manchester City, United's biggest rivals. Fans were worried. But then, in just 24 hours, everything changed. Sir Alex Ferguson, his old mentor, made a phone call. Soon after, the official announcement came. Cristiano Ronaldo returns to Manchester United. The internet exploded. Shirts with Ronaldo's name sold out in hours. Old Trafford prepared for his homecoming. The perfect return. Cristiano's first game back was against Newcastle United in September 2021. The stadium was full. Fans sang his name, and everyone waited for magic. And magic came. Cristiano scored twice, leading United to a 4-1 victory. The crowd went crazy. It was like he had never left. One fan said, "It feels like my childhood hero just came back to life." Leading by example, Cristiano wasn't the same 18-year-old boy who first arrived in Manchester. Now he was older, stronger, and wiser. He brought not just goals, but also experience and leadership. He pushed his teammates to train harder. He demanded focus and discipline. Young players watched how he prepared, how he ate, how he recovered, and they learned from him. For Cristiano, being a leader was as important as scoring goals. Champions League nights. Cristiano has always loved the Champions League, and in his return season he proved it again against Villarreal. He scored a last-minute winner. Against Atlanta, he scored twice to save United from defeat. Again and again, he showed that he was the man for the big moments. One commentator said, "When you need a hero, call Cristiano Ronaldo." Challenges at United, but it wasn't always easy. Manchester United was not the same team as before. The club had problems. The squad lacked balance, and coaches changed too often. Cristiano did his part, scoring goals, fighting until the end, but sometimes the results were not good enough. United finished the season without trophies, and critics started talking again. Some said Cristiano was too old. Others said he didn't fit the new system. But Cristiano never accepted those excuses. He answered with goals and professionalism, personal achievements. In his first season back, Cristiano scored 24 goals in all competitions, including 18 in the Premier League. At 37 years old, he was still one of the top scorers in England. He also reached new milestones: 800 career goals, a record in football history. Most goals ever in men's international football, breaking the record for Portugal. Countless match-winning performances. Cristiano showed that age is just a number when you have discipline and passion. The difficult season. In 2022, things became more difficult. United struggled, and Cristiano played less under the new coach. He wasn't happy with sitting on the bench. He believed he could still help the team more. There were tense moments. Finally, in November 2022, Cristiano and Manchester United agreed to part ways. It was a sad ending, but Cristiano knew his journey wasn't finished. A new adventure awaits. Many wondered, where will Ronaldo go now? Is this the end? But Cristiano didn't think about retiring. He still loved the game too much. He wanted to keep playing, keep scoring, and keep inspiring. Soon, he made his next move to Saudi Arabia to join Al Nassr. It was a new chapter in a new land. The return's meaning. Even though his second time at Manchester United was full of ups and downs, it proved something important. Cristiano Ronaldo never runs away from challenges. He returned to the club where his legend began, showed his quality again, and reminded the world that he is one of the greatest of all time. For fans, his comeback was more than football. It was a story of love, loyalty, and unfinished dreams. In December 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo surprised the world once again. After leaving Manchester United, he signed with Al Nassr, a football club in Saudi Arabia. For many people, this was unexpected. Some said, "Why Saudi Arabia? His career is over." But for Cristiano, it was not the end. It was a new beginning, a new adventure in Saudi Arabia. When Cristiano arrived in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, thousands of fans filled the stadium to welcome him. They shouted his name, waved yellow and blue flags, and showed their love. Cristiano smiled and said, "I am proud to join Al Nassr. I want to help this league grow, and I want to keep scoring goals." He was 37 years old, but he still looked like a champion, strong, fast, and hungry for more, proving himself again. Many doubted him. Some critics said he went to Saudi Arabia only for money. But Cristiano wanted to prove them wrong. From his first games, he showed his passion. He scored goals, celebrated with his famous jump, and lifted the team. His presence made every game feel special. For Al Nassr, it was not just about football, it was about history. With Cristiano, the Saudi League became famous around the world. Millions of people who had never watched it before started following, inspiring a nation. Cristiano didn't just play, he inspired. Young Saudi kids came to the stadium with his jersey, dreaming of being like him one day. Parents told their children, "Look at Ronaldo. Look at his discipline, his passion. Learn from him." He became more than a player. He became a role model for a whole region. Records continue. Even in Saudi Arabia, Cristiano continued to break records. He scored multiple hat tricks, proving that age could not stop him. He became the fastest player in the league to reach 20 goals. He showed that his hunger for scoring would never die. At almost 40 years old, he was still one of the best goal scorers in the world. The global impact. Cristiano's move to Saudi Arabia also changed football globally. Soon, other famous players joined the league: Karim Benzema, N'Golo Kante, Neymar, and more. Many said Cristiano opened the door. Once again, he was a pioneer, leading the way for others to follow. Family and life off the field. In Saudi Arabia, Cristiano also enjoyed more time with his family. His partner Georgina and their children supported him, traveling together and adapting to a new culture. He often posted pictures of his family life, showing that even though football was his passion, family was his foundation. Cristiano's children watched him play, and he hoped to inspire them with his example. The national team. At the same time, Cristiano continued to play for Portugal. In 2022, he became the first player in history to score in 5 different World Cups. He had already broken the record for most international goals. Even when some people said he was too old for international football, he kept proving them wrong. His love for Portugal never faded. More than football, Cristiano's story at Al Nassr was about more than trophies or goals. It was about showing the world that dreams don't have an expiration date. He once said, "If you believe in yourself, you can play at the top level, no matter your age." Cristiano became living proof of that. The legacy. By this stage of his career, Cristiano had already achieved everything: Ballon d'Ors, Champions League titles in England, Spain, Italy, and now success in Saudi Arabia. But what made him truly great was not just the trophies. It was his mentality, his refusal to give up, his hunger to improve every single day. Cristiano Ronaldo showed the world that talent alone is not enough. Hard work, discipline, and belief are what turn dreams into reality. Beyond football, Cristiano also uses fame for good causes. He donated money to hospitals, helped children in need, and supported charities. He wanted to give back because he remembered where he came from, a poor boy from Madeira with nothing but a ball. Today, he inspires millions, not only as a footballer, but as a human being who worked hard, never gave up, and stayed true to his dreams. The journey continues. Even in Saudi Arabia, Cristiano often says, "My story is not finished." He still wants to play to score and to inspire. Whether on the biggest stage in Europe or in a new league in the Middle East, Cristiano Ronaldo continues to write history. His journey shows us something powerful. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is how far you are willing to go. Cristiano Ronaldo's story is more than just football. It is a story about belief, hard work, and never giving up. From a poor boy in Madeira to one of the greatest athletes in history, his journey inspires millions of people around the world. What makes Cristiano different? Many players are talented. Many players score goals. But Cristiano has something rare, an unbreakable mentality. Discipline. He always trains harder than anyone else. Consistency. For more than 20 years, he has stayed at the top level. Passion. Even after winning everything, he still wants more. Resilience. Every time life knocked him down, he came back stronger. Cristiano is proof that talent alone is not enough. Hard work makes the difference. Records that tell a story. By the time Cristiano entered his late 30s, his list of records was almost endless. Most goals in football history, 800 plus. Most goals in international football. Only player to win league titles in England, Spain, and Italy. 5-time Champions League winner. 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. Countless Golden Boots, MVP awards, and trophies. But beyond numbers, his real record is the millions of hearts he inspired. A global icon. Cristiano is not just a footballer. He is a symbol. From America to Asia, from Africa to Europe, children wear his jersey and shout "Su" when they score a goal. For many, he represents hope. If he could rise from nothing to everything, maybe they can too. He shows that dreams are possible if you're willing to sacrifice for them. Lessons from Cristiano's life. Cristiano's journey teaches us many important lessons. Dream big. Even if people laugh at your dream, believe in it. Work hard. Talent gives you a start, but hard work keeps you going. Never give up. Problems, failures, and criticism are part of life. Use them as fuel. Stay hungry. Success is not the end. Always look for the next challenge. Inspire others. True greatness is not just what you achieve, but how you help others. The family man. Behind the superstar, there's also a father and partner. Cristiano often talks about how much his family means to him. His children watch him play, and he wants to be their role model, not just on the field, but in life. He teaches them discipline, kindness, and the importance of chasing dreams. The legend lives on. Even when Cristiano finally retires, his legacy will not fade. His name will live forever in football history, next to legends like Pelé and Maradona. But unlike many others, his impact goes beyond the game. He changed how athletes train, how they eat, and how they think. He showed that with discipline, you can play at the top even at nearly 40 years old. Motivation for everyone. You don't have to be a footballer to learn from Cristiano Ronaldo. His story is about life itself. Are you facing problems? Remember how Cristiano faced poverty, criticism, and loss. Do you feel too small for your dreams? Remember the skinny boy from Madeira who became the best. Do you want to give up? Remember how Cristiano always stood back up after failure. Cristiano Ronaldo teaches us that we all have the power to rise if we believe in ourselves and work for it. A final thought. When Cristiano looks back at his life, he will remember the long journey, the small house in Madeira, the lonely nights in Lisbon, the victories with Manchester United, the glory with Real Madrid, the challenges with Juventus, the return to Old Trafford, the new adventure in Saudi Arabia. It is a journey of a dreamer who never stopped believing.